What's going on, YouTube? JT is Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're going to be talking about Batman issue number 140. The main storyline and the backup are written, of course, by Chip Zdarsky, with Jorge Jimenez doing the artwork on the main storyline. I think it's Mike Hawthorne who does the artwork on the backup storyline, but this is the continued adventures of this little storyline that Zdarsky started with Batman, Zerna, and all that other stuff. But before we get into that, I do want to mention a special rest in peace farewell to Comixology. It's a sad day. Comixology's app has officially been shut down. It's now been merged with the Kindle app. Now, granted, I've used the Kindle app before. I really like the Comixology app. Everything was just kind of there, organized. I mean, I miss when Comixology was its own site. Then it got moved to Amazon. I'm like, okay, I'll adapt to that. And then it's like, oh, this app is no longer in use. You can't use it anymore. Sorry, Sean. I know you spent so many hundreds upon hundreds of hours reading on that glorious app, but it is gone. It is done. That's the way I made all these videos, just, you know, audio recording, just going over the comics and that, talking about it, give my thoughts on it, but it's all over now. And just want to give a special RIP to the Comixology app, RIP to Comixology in general. Like, I thought it was a great service earlier on, then gradually Amazon took it over and just kind of made it worse and worse over time. And now it's gone. Now it's all just in the Kindle app. For whatever reason, they decided to kind of screw over Comixology. It makes me sad, but hey, it is what it is. The show must go on. I had fond memories of Comixology. I'll miss that app, but now it's all just on the Kindle. So I know, I feel like I had to kind of say something about that, because today was officially like the end of Comixology, and the last comic book I read on it, what was the last comic book I read? I think I just kind of like whatever I reviewed last week was the last whatever the last comic book review I did was the final comic book I read on Comixology. Just kind of makes me sad. So, but anyways, the show must go on. Let's go ahead and talk about this thing. And also, if you have any other memories of Comixology, what do you think of it being shut down? Tell me in the comment section down below, because like I said, Comixology meant a great deal to me for many, many years, but now it's kind of over. But anyway, so this storyline continues off the adventures of the previous issue. It's Mindbomb Part 2, Zdarsky and Jorge Jimenez. So Joker's off there. He's doing his own thing. He tried to like break Batman to bring up Zerna, his darker side, because he wants to fight to the death or whatever reason or whatever's going on. I'm not a fan of this whole Zerna thing. I think it's a dumb idea. I feel like Batman's had his mind controlled like 100 different times this past year alone. I mean, I'm reading Detective Comics right now, and we're basically going through something kind of similar where Batman's mind is being controlled by the Asmir. Barbados is fighting for control of his mind, and here we have these hundreds of the multiverse of Zeranas in his head trying to take control and all that. It's just way, way too much of Batman's mind being controlled. Also, we had the Devil Nezha, like, earlier on, or Nezha, or whatever, earlier on this year as well. And then you had kind of the Night Terror stuff, where his mind was being invaded, then Deadman controlling his body. Enough of the mind control Batman stuff. We have had way too much of it. Now, if this were just the only one going on, we didn't have all that other stuff, like, it wouldn't feel as bad. But the fact that so many storylines in DC comic books this past year have been about Bruce Wayne, Batman under some sort of mind control or whatnot, it's gotten a little tiresome, at least in my humble opinion. Now, the main saving grace of this particular issue for me is the Jorge Jimenez art. I mean, there's something kind of visually interesting about almost seeing like these other versions of Batman we've kind of grown up. You have the Keaton one, you have the Arkham one, you have Adam West Batman, and you also have Dark Knight Returns. But these are the Zerana versions of it. So it's not like, I mean, there was that special issue of Batman where, I mean, you had some aspects of that, it kind of like seeing all the different versions of Batman crossover with the main universe Batman. There was something kind of special about that. And I think the element of like seeing these different versions of Zerna against Batman within his own mind creates for some rather interesting and exciting visuals. I mean, hell, we have the Kevin Conroy version. We have two versions of Kevin Conroy. We have Arkham and the DC AU versions of him in a sense, right? Because this is the Zerna of those different characters. But just the thought of like Zerna and all these different Batman just kind of blows my mind. It's like kind of like wacky, but like, why does every Batman need a Zerna? You know what I'm saying? But again, it's all in Bruce's head. He has to kind of fight through this dreamscape while like his Zerna is kind of taking control so he can like pummel the Joker with an inch of his life. This one woman shows up again. She was more of a character within Batman the Night, which is a storyline Zdarsky wrote himself. I didn't read that storyline, so I don't really know what happens in it. But yeah, so he's trying to fight for control. He kind of seemingly gains that control again. And there are some really top tier visuals in this comic. I mean, Jorge Jimenez really kind of plays around with it. It's visually like great to look at. It's kind of like creative and interesting, if you will. So there's some good aspects to the comic book right there. Joker seemingly gets his like back broken. He doesn't quite kill him, I guess, or maybe not. I don't know. He kind of leaves him like in a lot of severe pain, if you will. We don't really get to see the follow to that because he sort of just kind of wakes up and he's in this hospital bed, and guess who's there but Failsafe. So Failsafe is back. Not sure if Zur's taken over Failsafe's mind or just Failsafe just kind of went and hid off into the shadows or whatnot. So there's a couple of questions I have about that, but we'll see how they kind of unfold within the next issue. Then in the backup, we have Vandal Savage, who is now living at Wayne Manor. And this one is also written by Zdarsky. So at least Zdarsky is writing the backup. But I don't know. I don't feel like Vandal Savage makes for a great... I don't know if I really want to see him as a Batman villain, per se. But I guess he's kind of stuck here because he can't really leave Gotham, or he becomes immediately, like, kind of weakened. You know what it kind of reminds me of? Like, this is another Batman example. Like, Batman and Robin when Mr. Freeze leaves the cold spot in his cell and he tries to walk away and he's, like, out of breath. Ugh, the heat. It's too much. That's kind of the vibes I'm getting from this sort of thing. But it is what it is, I suppose. So Savage is there. He's kind of mingling around with the very rich and powerful within Gotham. He kind of kills somebody on the spot. He even killed his butler at one point, which I don't know why that doesn't cause some like more of an uproar, but hey, who knows? And then he kind of gets offered like seemingly the position of becoming the police commissioner of Gotham, which is just kind of a bizarre choice for Vandal Savage to sort of do. I don't know how I'm feeling about this thing. Also, where are other members of the Bat family? Like, didn't Vandal Savage just commit all these crimes? Is there like no reason for him to be on some sort of watch list unless he never got caught or something? I don't exactly know. I just like, why aren't other members of the Bat family like trying to take control of Wayne Manor or anything like that? Because he's got the Batcave and all those other gadgets and that there. It just leaves so many questions. I guess Dick Grayson kind of did some sort of protocol thing to shut things down, but he still has a lot of that stuff within the Batcave, mind you. It's just, I don't know. I'm kind of tired of Batman away from like his Batcave and all that too. I mean, it just feels like we haven't done anything all that exciting or kind of cool with Batman like in a while. Like, we've kind of just taken away some of the things that make Batman. Like I said, his Batcave, like, you know, coming out of Wayne Manor, all the ridiculous amounts of money that he spends in all these different things. Like, he lost a good chunk of his money in like Joker War, but it just feels like, oh, now he just kind of has less cool stuff to kind of work with, and there's nothing really like interesting being done about that. I guess Lucius Fox still has his money, if you will, but why can't he just get it back? Why can't we just go move back into Wayne Manor? Like these other places he's been at, it's just not as fun. Like, I mean, the money isn't everything when it comes to Batman and all that, but it just makes it way more cool, right? I mean, what are we doing with Batman anymore? Just lame, some of the same redundant storylines time and time again, where he fights with the family, then he tries to become better, and then it repeats the cycle endlessly. Batman being mind-controlled for the 1,000th time this past year, and just fighting and all. I'm just kind of tired at this point. Granted, the Jorge Jimenez artwork in the main storyline is pretty good. The Mike Hawthorne one is, you know, fine, but the Jorge stuff at least is visually exciting and really cool to kind of look at. And at least it's more of a personal thing and not just the ridiculousness that we just got in Gotham War. But there's still some fault in that storyline in the sense that we are still dealing with Zur-En-Arrh, and we're still dealing with Vandal Savage within Gotham, if you will. So my emotions are kind of all over the place with this Batman book anymore. Do I think this issue was terrible by any stretch of the means? No, I think I'm just kind of tired when it comes to like the main Batman books right now, because we got this one, we have the seemingly never-ending Detective Comics, Arzen and Orgam and all that other like stuff going on right there, and it's just not getting to the point right now. This stuff, the Zur-En-Arrh, just hasn't been exciting me, and I don't know like what the deal with Zdarsky is, because like I saw him write a really good Red Hood storyline in, you know, the pages of Urban Legends, so I was excited to see him take over Batman. And it's been a really mixed bag. Like, there's some aspects I've liked. I liked the one issue where it was him through the multiverse of various different Batman. I thought that was kind of fun and exciting in some interesting and unique ways, just to see that. Even bringing in the shark repellent, like, I couldn't hate a comic book that brought in the shark repellents. But then there's been other stuff like Gotham War and Zur-En-Arrh that just hasn't been doing it for me, and I want things to get better, but it just feels like we're kind of in a bit of a rut when it comes to the main Batman books. I mean, Jorge's artwork still remains spectacular, but it can't always save a not so exciting storyline. And that's kind of where we're at right now. I'm kind of tired of the whole mind control Batman thing right now, and I just want to kind of get through this go back to Bruce having his money back, put him back in Wayne Manor. I know people sometimes are like, well, it's just the same thing. It's been so long since he's been in Wayne Manor, I feel like. I mean, there's certain things within Batman, like, in some elements, I like the status quo. I want to go back to some more smaller, more focused storylines. I want to kind of get away from the Bat family infighting for a while, because we've done it so many times in recent years. Get away from the big, huge events. Just have Batman solving some more smaller, more personal stakes with some of these storylines, more street-level stuff. And again, this issue in particular, it felt more smaller, a little bit more personal, because it's just Batman and Joker and Batman in his mind. So I like that aspect to it. I like that we're kind of moving away from this big event Gotham War stuff. But again, we're still dealing with crazy stuff like Zur-En-Arrh, Vandal Savage coming in, and Failsafe. But I want it to get better. I really, really hope things do get better, because I'm still reading it. It's just kind of left me a little bit bummed. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, backup storyline. I don't know how I feel about Vandal Savage taking over like as police commissioner at some point. It just feels kind of off. It doesn't really feel fitting within like his character or anything like that. So I don't know what they're going to do with that storyline. It could be good, could be bad, or it could just be just a waste of time. I don't know. It's all up in the air at this point, potentially. But it is what it is, I suppose. So, I mean, if you read this issue of Batman, what did you think of it? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Is this something exciting for you? Is this stuff you want to see with the Batman character right now? Or do you want to kind of go back to something, as some would say, the status quo of Batman coming out of Wayne Manor? I don't know. I just feel like it's been so long since I don't really recognize a lot of this stuff anymore. And I've been reading it like continuously since issue 1. I've been reading like this main Batman book since 2016, basically, at this point. And it's been such an up and down roller coaster. Like, there's been some good stuff, there's been some bad stuff, but I feel like there's never been, like, in terms of the main Batman book, we haven't had anything really great in a while. And the Batman should be better than this. That's just kind of where I'm at right now. Like I said, I want some smaller, more detective-based storylines, more personal stakes, if you will. Don't need to have Batman, like, and some villain taking over the city again. Like I said, I just kind of want some smaller cases, kind of like how the animated series would do it sometimes. Like, you'd have an episode, Batman would have to face things, but it'd be like a case, and you have to try and stop the Bat. It's just kind of something simple for a little bit while, away from the bigger events. Like, give it some time, build up the characters, do some interesting, exciting stuff with them. Maybe the next arc can be about him getting his money back, getting his manor back, and kind of rebuilding back to, like, what's been kind of missing from Batman for a while. So, I don't know. I'm at a loss for words anymore. I want things to get better. So anyways, I have rambled on long enough. So did I like the comic book? Did I dislike it? I liked Jorge's artwork. I really liked Jorge's artwork. But like I said, Jorge is he's one of the best artists at DC. I mean, he's up there. Like I said, him and Dan Moore are two of my favorites to follow in terms of what they do with their different art styles. Jorge's, like I said, his action looks great, but Dan Moore's artwork is so good too. So, I mean, you can't really lose with those two as some of your artists right now. There was that time period where it was him doing it, main stuff, and then Dan Moore was doing Detective Comics, and they just looked great. Even if some of the stories weren't as interesting per se, the comic books really looked spectacular. So artwork fantastic, and like I said, there's some interesting visuals which do help salvage a lot of the comic books. So, but the storyline stuff with Batman being mind controlled, it just feels kind of redundant right now, mostly because, like I said, Detective Comics is doing it right now, kind of the same thing with the Arzan and all that, and Batman's been mind controlled so many times this past year. It's just exhausting at this point. And I'm sorry, like I said, I know if I didn't read those, then this may seem like a little bit more fresh, I suppose, but I don't like the Zur-En-Arrh stuff. I think it's kind of a dumb idea for Batman. Like, why do we even need Zur-En-Arrh to exist? Like, why? What's the point of Zur-En-Arrh, right? I mean, I get they have like a storyline purpose for it, I suppose, but Zur-En-Arrh's just never been a really great concept, I think. So, and it just, no matter what they've tried to do with it, it just hasn't won me over from the start of it. So, but again, some people may like it. It's just not really for me. So I want Batman comics to get better. Like I said, I want something fun, exciting. I want to be excited to read Batman comics. I'm reading Superman right now. That's really great, and I'm looking forward to each and every issue with it. But with Batman, it's just not there right now, and I want that to be the case. I want that monthly excitement to happen when I'm reading Batman stuff, because I love Batman. I mean, it's Batman. How can you not love Batman? Well, I guess if you're reading some of the other stuff at DC, then you could probably feel that way. But Batman should be in a better place. So I apologize for my long, tiresome rant, I'm sure, but I'm just at that point right now. Like, I feel tired. I want to be excited again. when it comes to this Batman stuff, but it just feels like I'm not kind of getting there. So hopefully things will turn around soon. Maybe after we get through this arc here with Failsafe, Zeranon, all that, we can kind of get back to more of a status quo with Batman. Like I said, working out of the manor, give him his money back, which was stolen from him, and let Batman do some cool shit. I mean, don't you want, like, I mean, that's one of the cool things about Batman. I want to see Batman do some cool stuff and look awesome while he's doing it. It's fun to see him struggle and do all this stuff, but to see him kind of brought down so many times, like time and time again, and not just be the awesome, like, character that he should be, it doesn't make it as much fun to read. Like, I like Batman being a badass and, you know, kicking ass and stuff too, and I just feel like I haven't really gotten some of that in a while, so, it is what it is, I suppose. I probably repeated myself 100 times, and as I continue to keep rambling on and on for a while. But yeah, I've gone way off the deep end with this video, so I'm going to say goodbye. Rest in peace once again to Comixology. Say hello to the new Kindle era, and have a great day, everyone. I may cover another Batman comic book this week, which is, there's like a Santa crossover or whatnot. I haven't read it yet, so I'm going to try and read that one today and see if I like it enough and to kind of cover it. So I think it's only like 4 issues, but it's Batman teaming up with Santa Claus. That sounds kind of fun. So we'll see some exciting stuff. Also, like I said, if there are some cool Batman stuff, I should acknowledge that, like Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. I mean, that's the kind of stuff I like at DC right now. Or World's Finest. How could I forget that? World's Finest is great. I mean, like main Batman series. I want that to be really cool again. So can we get Mark Waid to write Batman as an ongoing again? I think that would be fun. Let Mark Waid take over that. I think that'd be great. So, but anyways, rambled on long enough. Post your comments down below. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, the bell for notifications, all that fun stuff. And as always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.